my friends. Happy New Year and welcome to episode 40 of the Kiss Army Nation podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Pasquale Vari.
And I am Claudius Pera. Welcome to the show, everyone.
You'll also notice that we have a special co-host today, Raula Brown. All right. Welcome back to the show, Raula.
Hi. It's good to be here.
Okay, now you might be wondering why we have a third host on the show. Well, that's because Raula told us in no uncertain terms, if we ever manage to have our next guest on the show, she positively, absolutely needed to be here. And I am not one to weather the wrath of a woman. So here she is to help us in our interview with our first guest of 2022, Ryan Cook. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you.
Hey, Ryan.
All
Welcome,
right.
buddy. There you
Happy
go.
New Year.
Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Same to you.
I didn't know I was going to be your first guest this year. This is a lot of pressure on me.
Special. You're
Very special, very special.
Yeah, I love it.
So, everyone in the Kiss Army and beyond knows Ryan Spencer Cook, founder, guitarist, and vocalist for the Big Rock Show,
Yeah.
Guitarist and vocalist for the Rock and Roll Residency, guitarist for Gene Simmons and Ace Frehley. And if that list of accomplishments is not enough, Ryan is also part of the Talismen. So Ryan is a rock and roll star who can play it all and has different projects cooking. So at every corner. So again, such a pleasure to have you on the show, Ryan. So
Thanks. I'm happy to be here, you guys. This is awesome.
thank you so much. So Rolla, do you want to get us started?
Sure, I can get us started. Thanks for having me here, of course. And like Pat said, this is awesome. I'm so glad to get to be a part of this. I just wanted you to give us a little bit of your musical influences and
Sure.
how you became so diverse. It's like Claudio said, you play it all.
Oh,
So just a little interested in that.
well, thanks. You know what? As far as my taste being diverse and everything, I think that just kind of, is the result of how I grew up, because the house I grew up in, there was always music on the turntable or the radio or the TV. And my dad was really into country music. My mom was really into rock and roll. And I have a sister who's 5 years older, which gave me the opportunity to listen to a lot of her records. Because, when I was growing up, the biggest bands were Aerosmith and Van Halen and Led Zeppelin, Ted Nugent and all that stuff. And my sister had all those records. So I would always listen to those, and she'd share those with me. And then my dad always had George Jones and Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson and Marty Robbins and that kind of stuff. So every day I would hear rock and country more than anything. And then my sister and I were really into like all the K-Tel dance records, like they had Earth, Wind and Fire and Rick James and Kool and the Gang and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And did you guys, when you grew up, did you guys have roller skating rinks anywhere?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Okay. So I can tell you, whenever I'd go roller skating, every night I would hear pretty much something like Staying Alive by the Bee Gees, back to back with I Was Made for Loving You, back to back with Earth, Wind and Fire's September, back to back with Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven for the slow skate. So everywhere I went, the skating rinks didn't really play the country music, but it was just music. All those kinds of music were everywhere when I grew up, and it just kind of, developed my taste in music. And I'm glad I didn't listen to just one thing.
Right.
Because as much as the four of us love rock and roll, I can't listen to rock and roll all the time.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing, surprise a lot of people don't know or surprised to hear, is in my car, all I listen to is classical music.
Wow.
So that's all I listen to.
Wow.
So I know it's kind of a long answer to your question, but just, how I grew up with my musical taste, that's what it was. I grew up listening to everything just because I was, it was always on around me. So I was lucky.
So tell us a little more about your band, Hair of the Dog, and
Sure.
the new album.
There it is. Thank you
Nice.
for getting that.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
I haven't got it yet, but I'm planned on it.
I love it. Well, there was just to kind of give you an idea of how it started. When I was in the beginning, before I joined Hair of the Dog, I was like so many other guys that we know that are in bands right now. Everybody was unsigned at one point, right?
Mhm.
Every band that you know, they were not signed. They had to do a lot of work to get signed, and that does take a lot of work. And I was one of those guys that was unsigned, and you know, I had the opportunity to meet a guy named Desmond Child.
Oh, yeah.
And-
Okay.
And Desmond Child, who people watching this show, specifically Kiss fans, you know, like myself, first were introduced to Desmond when, because he co-wrote "I Was Made for Loving You" with Paul.
Right.
And that's when he first became on my radar when I was a kid. And then as the years went by, I started noticing Desmond's name as songwriter and producer on so many things that, you know, the four of us have listened to, and millions of others like Aerosmith,
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi, Cher, Joan Jett. My mind is kind of going as a blank right now, but the point was, Des was just so successful as a producer and songwriter, and he and I met, and he heard me sing, and he knew that I was looking for a band, and he was managing a band in Los Angeles, and said, "Hey, I know these guys are looking for a singer. They've been looking for over a year, and they can't find the right guy. You guys are kind of so similar and cut from the same bolt of cloth. Would you come out and meet to Los Angeles and meet the guys?" And I did.
Oh, wow.
And I went and hung out with them for 3 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
And when I had to fly back to Nashville that Sunday, I said, "I'll see you in a month." And I went back to Nashville and took care of everything I needed to take care of. And I moved to Los Angeles. And that's how I ended up being in the band Hair of the Dog. It wasn't Hair of the Dog yet, but we got together and we wrote songs for a couple of years and got a new drummer and did the whole thing of just having to write new songs. The things that new bands do, you know, write songs, find out which ones are good, which ones aren't good. And then we, you know, our first record came out and we ended up doing 3 albums on Spitfire Records. And then that record that you just held up a moment ago, that was just released almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
And it's a Hair of the Dog Greatest Hits. And it's a compilation of the first 3 records. And, you know, I was so lucky. I toured the world with that band. That was my first record deal. That was my first time being on tour. It was just, you know, everything I hoped it would be and more. And it led me to meeting the Kiss guys eventually and everything, and kind of led me to where I'm at today. But being in that band just introduced me to everybody in the industry that will become lifelong friends, and then also just be beneficial to where I am today, because all those relationships kind of helped bring me where I'm at talking to you guys today. So it worked out great.
Of course. You know, it's fascinating, Ryan, that I don't know how many people can say that they got into the music business through Desmond Child. Man, this is unbelievable. You know, it's what an opportunity there. Eh?
Oh yeah, thanks. And the thing was, I was such a fan of his when I met him, and you know, I was really excited and flattered that he would actually take an interest in me, someone like me that nobody knew, and say, "Hey, I'm going to take a chance on you, and I think you can help be a part of something that I'm working on." So that was really helpful and to me, and I'm really grateful for it. You know, he lives here in Nashville too. So
he does.
Yeah, he's here in Nashville. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah.
Well, thank you to Neil. Ryan, you know, my first introduction to you was on Kiss Cruise 1 and the Big Rock Show. Now,
it was on the Carnival Destiny.
That's right. That's right.
We changed the name to the Carnival Dynasty.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Now, listen, that was the first Kiss cruise.
2011.
That's right. The band, everybody on the ship, the fans. In a sense, we were all pioneers because it was the first time that we were doing this, and the fans were participating in this. And listen, I'll be honest. I remember I didn't care about listening to any other music but Kiss. And I remember telling myself how disappointed I was that it wasn't all Kiss. Other bands were playing. But I got to tell you, when I heard the Big Rock Show, I was literally just like blown away.
Thank you.
I didn't miss a show on that ship. The diversity of music that you guys played was just incredible. And to me, it was a highlight of the cruise.
Oh, thank you.
Besides Kiss, you know, honestly, it was incredible. So tell us about how that band came about and how you were included on the Kiss cruise.
Yeah, I was living here in Nashville, And I'll tell you real quick about the band. Jeremy Asbrock, who is in Gene and Ace with me, he was the other guitarist besides myself in the Big Rock Show. Paul Taylor from Winger was our keyboard player. And then my old friend Matt Green was on drums. And my childhood friend was Dean Workman on bass, who sang like all the Iron Maiden stuff and Dio and Judas Priest and that kind of thing. And we started that band for fun in Nashville. And people who don't know what the Big Rock Show is, it was basically an 80s rock review. We did, like I said, Dio, Whitesnake, Bon Jovi, Motley Crue, Rat, Cinderella, all that kind of stuff. And we started doing it here in Nashville just for fun. We didn't even do it to make money. We didn't want to make a business of it, you know. We knew some people that owned a club here, and we said, hey, listen, we'll put this show on for free. If you won't charge admission to the people to come in and just give us, we'll just play for drinks, and that's all it was. And it got so popular here that it actually became a business. And my neighbor at the time was Doc McGee.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've known Doc for a long time, right? So Doc and I were neighbors, and we would see each other. I mean, we hung out. Me, Doc, and I and his brother Scotty hung out 3 or 4 nights a week, every week for 5 or 6 years, right?
Okay.
Wow.
And we were good friends and all that. And Doc used to come see the Big Rock Show here in Nashville. So one morning in 2010, he and I were having coffee at the Starbucks down the street from this house. And he said, listen, Kiss is doing a cruise. Big Rock Show should be on the cruise. I'd never been on a cruise. Kiss had never been on a cruise. Yeah. This was a first for everybody. And I was like, wow, really? You think it's a good idea? He goes, trust me, you guys will do great. It's going to be a Kiss cruise, but also a rock cruise. You guys remember Skid Row was on that first cruise?
Yes, I remember.
I think, yeah. And there were a lot of bands. There was a Kiss tribute band. The girls that did the Kiss tribute were on there.
Yeah, Pris. Yeah.
On the first cruise?
Wasn't it?
No, I think they came later on. I think they came on 4.
Oh, okay.
I remember.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
saw them on the.
There was
Yeah.
Kiss theme.
Yeah.
And, you know, we went over really well, like you said on there. And we were the only band for a long time. The Big Rock Show has more Kiss cruises under their belt than any other one band besides Kiss.
Mhm.
We got invited back every year.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it just became this fun thing. You know, like I said, we never even planned on anything like that happening. And, you know, so I owe it to Doc for inviting us on there. But whenever we played the Lido deck at night, I can just always remember looking over to stage left, and there was Kiss watching us every night. And that's what led years later to me getting the call from Gene to put together a solo band.
All right.
Yeah. So
Nice.
it all worked out.
That's
What an
fantastic.
amazing story. You're at the right place at the right time, man. Always. You know,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
exactly, right?
It's amazing. Love it.
Yeah.
So Ryan, once you were introduced to the Kiss world, you know, the fans, and I remember I have to second, you know, Pasquale, because the first time I saw you guys was on Kiss Cruise #3, and
Okay.
I was completely hooked, you know, with you guys, with the energy, not only the way that you guys were playing the music, which was perfect, you know, you nailed it, but the
Thank you.
energy that you were actually transmitting to everybody. And it didn't happen only to me, but a lot of Kiss fans were just fascinated with you. So,
Right.
and the reason being that you provided the fans what sometimes, or most of the times, Kiss could not provide, which
Right.
is, you know, giving us deep cuts, you know, songs that we would never hear live.
Right.
So we want to hear about some of those special projects that you are involved in, which gave Kiss fans something special. For instance, let's take the 3-day in New Jersey expo.
Oh, yeah.
With Ace Frehley. How
Yeah.
did it come about?
You know what? Are you guys familiar with a guy named Keith LaRue?
Yeah, of course.
Yep. Mhm.
Okay, good. Okay, Keith is, of course you are. Keith put on that expo, right? And Keith has put on several expos. He's had Ace come, he's had Tommy Thayer come, he's had Eric Singer come. He had, you know, a lot of different people that are involved with KISS over the years, you know, and not just the people who play for them, but behind the scenes stuff and everything. The one KISS Expo that I think you're talking about, though, would be the New Jersey one where we played there with Ace.
Yeah.
And we performed his entire solo album front to back, right?
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. That was great because that was the first and last time that we actually played a lot of those songs with Ace, like Wiped Out or why are the titles escaping me right now? Fractured Mirror for sure.
Yeah. Ozone. Those things.
Speeding Back to My Baby, we played a couple times in other live situations, but we played that whole record from front to back. And that was real exciting for us as a band because we loved that record. And we all knew how to play that record because we played it so much as a kid.
Of course.
Growing up. So there wasn't much learning to do on our part besides just playing together as a band with Ace and getting it tight. I love that so much. And I wish just personally that we were able to, I would love to do that again. I would love to do a whole tour where we came out and did the whole solo record front to back. And then at the end, do Shock Me and New York Groove and Parasite and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I would love that. Now, it's not up to me.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
Ryan, I heard rumors that night, actually, that in a sense, that show was a run through for another show to be filmed. Any news on that?
I don't know. I don't know. I can tell you that we never had anything booked to do that again or have it filmed. Now, if anybody else had run that idea, I can tell you, I can speak on behalf of the band and not Ace. I'm never going to speak on, like, for example, if I worked for you or if I worked for Gene or if I worked for Ace, I would never speak on your behalf. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just not something you do, especially for the people you work for. Now, I can tell you as a band, though, I can speak on behalf of the band. Me, Phil, Jeremy, and Matt, we would do that in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
We would love it.
Okay.
We would love it. I love that idea. If that idea was floated somewhere, like I said, I promise you, there was never a date booked after that to do so. Now, the idea might have been out there with somebody, and it's a good idea. I would be on board with it. But no, we never had anything planned, because if we would, that means we would have had to have canceled something that was planned like that, and that never happened.
Right.
But man, let me tell you, it's a good idea. It's a real good idea. It's the one thing that Ace hasn't done yet. And,
yeah, true.
I think we'd agree that, everybody has their own favorite KISS solo album.
Mm-hmm.
Most people gravitate towards the Ace record.
Yeah, true. It is true. Yeah.
And, it's one of those records where we could definitely pull it off. I know we could do it. So if the opportunity ever comes up, I'm in.
Of course.
Let's hope.
Of course you
do it.
can. Of course.
Yeah.
Hey, talking about special events for KISS fans, what can you tell us about the KISS Masquerade 2020?
That was cool.
That was Sarasota, right?
And Florida, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I remember most about that? We had a great time. We got to play with like Rick Jerringer and Jean Beauvoir. We played by ourselves, did that whole kind of thing. The one thing I'll remember is the promoters, Neil and Brian, who put the whole thing on. I think you guys remember it happened in December at the end of the whole COVID year.
Yes,
remember?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I will tell you that those guys went through, they really did a lot of work to try to make sure that people felt as safe as possible being there, because it was still people were just really nervous about getting in public and being together. And I understand that, because it is a serious thing. But besides having so much fun, Enough was there, remember?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they're such good guys. But we just had such a good time playing that show and doing the songs that we did, like From Rock and Roll Over and all that kind of thing. We had such a great time playing. My birthday, it was on my birthday.
Yeah.
I remember.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just had such a good time. I was glad the people that showed up did show up. We were grateful, and we were really grateful about the way the promoters handled it, just trying to make sure that everybody was safe and had fun at the same time, because sometimes it's hard to do both.
Yeah, it is indeed.
You know?
Yeah.
And they really went out of their way to make a really great event, and we enjoyed it. It was fun. And that's such a great town to go to too, Sarasota, especially in December.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know, one special event that we remember too well, you know, in the case of Pascal and I. So you played in our neck of the woods here in Quebec a few years ago with Gene.
Gene?
Yeah, that was Gene's birthday.
Which venue was that?
That was at the Bose. It was in the middle of nowhere. It was like an outdoor stage.
It was an outdoor. There was a church, you know, to the right. It was an open space. Do you recall? So it was close to Quebec City.
Yeah. Your dressing room was the school in the back of the stage.
Canafest.
Yeah. Canafest.
It was called Canafest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't remember
it was
that.
Canafest.
Oh.
Yeah.
We had the best time there. And yeah, the dressing room was a school building or a church or something.
Yeah.
Oh, we had such a good time. And man, what a good turnout.
Yeah, it was
packed.
packed. Yeah. And you guys, you came, you know, to the stage with the cake, you know, for Gene. And I remember everybody singing, you know, happy birthday. That was so cool. That was pretty
cool. Oh, we had such a great time. I think Mark Farner went on the same night that we did. That was like a 3-day festival, wasn't it?
Yeah. So you guys played the last day, and I think that right after that you flew to Australia, if I remember well.
Oh my God, we did.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That was the longest flight in our professional lives.
Oh, really?
That's across the world.
Yeah. We went through time zones. We went through days. And here's the thing, you guys, that was crazy about that. Thank you for reminding me. We left Quebec, went straight to Australia. We literally, between the layovers and the connecting flights and all that, it was almost 30 hours, okay?
Wow.
We landed in whatever the first city was in Australia. No sleep. Went to the hotel. Had long enough to shower and change and go straight to the venue to do a sound check with Ace, who we'd never played with before.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness, man. Wow.
What a rock star.
Wow, man.
Yeah. We'd never played with Ace live.
That must have been nerve-wracking.
You know what? It wasn't as nerve-wracking because I will tell you, the band, we take it all really seriously. So we know when we show up, we know what to play and how to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wasn't worried about our ability as much as I was just worried about everybody really just being sleep deprived.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the thing was, though, you know, it was so exciting and so fun that your body just kind of kicks to another level, and you're not tired.
That's right.
Until it's all over, and then your body just says, "I'm shutting down."
Then you crash.
But you do remember going there every night in Australia. We played with both Ace and Gene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a hell of a kick, man. My goodness.
Yeah. It was so fun, though.
Rolla, you want to get going?
Yeah, I wanted to touch a little bit more on your how you got involved with Gene and Ace. You know,
sure.
Just a little more intel on that, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. Well, like I mentioned before, we were talking about the cruise, right? Or the cruises, plural. And literally, I'm not kidding. I would say this in front of Gene. On every cruise, there would be a moment, I'm not saying that they came to every show that we played on the cruises. We played three shows per cruise, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever we played the Lido deck, the pool deck out there's always an area stage left where the artist can stand, where the rest of the cruise guests cannot go to, which is a little private.
Right.
And I'd always see, if not the whole band, at least a couple of the guys watching us whenever we played out there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Gene started seeing us every year.
Mm-hmm.
And it came down to a thing, X amount of cruises later, when he decided he was going to do a solo thing, he remembered seeing me out there every year. And, he had management get in touch with me and everything. And he didn't even know that Doc and I were friends.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he didn't know. Oh, wow.
No.
Okay.
Wow.
No. And just said, and then I got a message through, believe it or not, Sixth Man.
Oh.
And not Doc. And they said, look, he's trying to get a hold of you. Can you talk to him? And Gene and I had lunch and got together the last day of that cruise. And he told me what he was doing. And he said, look, I'm going to put together a solo. I want to put together a solo band, and we're going to do some shows. So are you interested in putting a band together for me? And the whole thing was discussed and agreed upon on that cruise. So I came back, immediately got a hold of Phil and Jeremy, and of course they were on board. And it just all went from there. And, then we ended up touring for a couple of years with Gene after that. And then the way that we got to Ace was there was one show we played in Minneapolis, St. Paul, right? And at the end of it was a baseball stadium. Cheap Trick opened. And as a special surprise, Ace came out at the end of our set with Gene and did 4 songs. We did Parasite, Shock Me, Rock and Roll All Night, and something else. I can't remember what it was.
Maybe Deuce. Okay.
Maybe Deuce.
Okay.
And that's when we first played with Ace for the first time. Well, fast forward X amount of months later, and when we were going to Australia to play with Gene, the promoter there in Australia wanted to add Ace to the bill as a special guest to open for Gene.
Uh-huh.
Ace called Gene and said, hey, I really liked your band that night 6 months ago. Do you think would you be okay if they played with me as well in Australia?
Oh, wow.
For these 4 shows, just these 4 shows. And Gene said, I have no problem with it, but you got to ask Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
So then Ace reached out to me via Gene, and we worked the whole thing out. So then we agreed, and then I called Gene separately, or texted, or I can't remember, and just said, hey, look, I know you said you're okay with this to Ace. Are you really, between you and I, are you really okay with this? Because, just,
yeah,
you got to make
course.
sure.
Yeah.
And he said, absolutely. He said, as long as it doesn't interfere with my show, I don't care what you guys do, as long as we're always going to be good. I trust you if you tell me. I said, we can do it. So, we were going back and forth with Ace, and he gave me the set list, and we made sure we knew all the songs. So we went to Australia for those 4 or 5 cities. We played with Ace, went, toweled off, put on a dry shirt, went out and played with Gene. And by the end of it, Ace decided that he wanted to keep us permanently as his band because it went so well.
Mm-hmm.
And Gene said, well, you have my blessing, because guess what? We're starting our farewell tour. So Gene just kind of handed us over to Ace, and we're still with him today. We go back on tour next month.
Wow.
Fantastic.
That's great. You guys are great with him.
But
Who would have thought,
Yeah.
But when you were playing with Gene that night, and then Ace came on, you had no idea you were going to play with Ace. You just happened to play those 4 songs with him.
No, we knew.
Oh, you knew. Okay.
We knew that was planned, and that was the first time that Gene and Ace had been on stage together in 13 years.
Yeah.
So that night, Gene and Ace had been talking a lot. They've been getting along and everything. And they thought, hey, it'd be kind of a special thing if Ace came out and played with you this night. Like I said, it was a really good night to do it because we were playing a baseball stadium in St. Paul, and Cheap Trick was on the bill. Don Felder from the Eagles was on the bill, who we played with as well. We backed him up.
Wow.
And it just turned out being a great night. And we really had a lot of fun with Ace. And I could tell that Gene really had a lot of fun with Ace, which made all of us happy just because we're Kiss fans. You know, you want your heroes to get along.
To be happy, of course. Yeah. Exactly.
Be together.
Yeah. And we were thrilled. But no, to answer your question, so that was the first night we played. We had no idea, never even thought of it, that, 6 months later that we were going to end up being Ace's band when Gene went back to finish what he had to do with Kiss.
Wow.
So,
Incredible.
It's weird because as Kiss fans, like the four of us are, none of us ever imagined that we'd be in Kiss, right?
Right, exactly.
And I know that's never going to happen for me. I don't think that's going to happen whenever. But I also didn't think that I'd ever be in a band with one of the guys from Kiss, let alone half of the guys from Kiss.
Yes, yes.
I never
absolutely.
expected it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And I'm not going to tell people that, oh yeah, I knew this would happen one day. I never imagined this in my life.
Well, of course, man. For any Kiss fan, it's more than a dream. So you're playing with Ace, and then you're getting dressed and playing with Gene. The same night.
That's amazing.
That's
The same night.
Great.
That's insane.
Great.
Yeah, it's really
Totally
fun.
Totally. Can I ask just one more question?
Please, whatever you want.
I know a lot of the fans are fascinated with you. I myself is one. It's one of those.
Sweet.
I think it's because a lot of it is because of your music, and I think it's because you're so approachable. I know.
Thank you.
I can relate to that. I mean, I've seen you on. We've had selfies together, and I think on the cruise I gave you a big hug, and
Of course.
yeah, I remember, and I do remember one on one of the at one of the concerts in Wilkes-Barre in Pennsylvania. We met you on the street. Matt Porter was there, and we took photos. And
I love Matt.
Everybody loves Matt.
And at the actual concert, I think you threw pics to me all night long until your arm got sore, and at one point you did this to me like, "You're not catching them." So we've had a few little, comments backwards and forwards on Facebook, and I think you've taken some of my photos and stuff, and which is totally fine. I think it's actually pretty cool. But my question is, what are your thoughts about the Kiss fans? What are your thoughts about us?
I love them because I'm one of them.
I know.
I'm never going to feel like there's anything different between me and like the three of you or anybody that comes to the show. Because like I said earlier, you guys, I never in my wildest dreams, I really did work hard to get a record deal and be a recording or a touring musician. I did. I worked my whole life for that. That's what I wanted. And there's good things that happen and bad things that happen, but that's just the way it is when you're chasing something or working hard on something.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you, before I'm a guitar player or before I'm a touring musician, I'm a fan. And we are all exactly alike. We all have that in common. We all don't play with Gene. We all don't play with Ace. We all don't, but we all have in common that we're Kiss fans. And that's why we became friends. The four of us became friends because of Kiss, So to answer your question, I love the Kiss fans. I think it's great. It's like the cruises are a lot of fun because, you guys, if you had a choice of being liked or disliked, I think you would choose being liked, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everybody would choose that,
Big time.
makes you happy. It makes other people happy. And the fact that anybody wants to take any of their free time or a free moment they have to come talk to me, it's like, that's their choice. And they're choosing to do that. It's like, why would I not want to sit and visit with you? It's like they're doing it because I guess it's because I'm hoping because they like what I'm doing or they approve of what I'm doing. And there's no bigger compliment than that. And man, I will take it all day, every day. I'm grateful for it. I appreciate it so much. So much. it just, it couldn't be better. And like I said, you guys, you look around here and this isn't much different than what it was like when I was growing up. It's like to be a Kiss fan and then to be able to be employed by those guys and then to get to meet nice people like you. It's all a win-win for me. And I appreciate it. I love it.
It's more than a dream. And you know what? One of the common things with Kiss fans when we talk about you and Phil and Jeremy is that once you get to a point to be able to play with Ace or Gene, some of the guys, they train to get distant from the fans. But in your case, you're always so grounded, so humble with everybody, and that keeps it so special. It's so special. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that so much. And I don't ever see myself not feeling that way. And I don't think I ever will. I certainly hope that if I did, that someone would straighten me out immediately. But I just appreciate it so much. And I'm so grateful for it that, you guys don't know how much it means to me. It's really awesome.
I think that, a big part of everything, everything that it's so good happening to you guys, it's because of that, because you keep being yourselves. You didn't
thank you.
You didn't become someone else. So Ryan,
thank you.
I honestly I can't keep up with all of your accomplishments, but let's talk about the rock and roll residency.
Yeah.
So how did this come about?
You know what, I have to give credit where credit's due. Philip and Jeremy started the residency.
Okay.
Jeremy and I were in the Big Rock Show together at the time. Philip and Jeremy actually started the residency here in Nashville separately. And we were all friends at the time. And they're like, okay, we're going to put this together. We're going to do it every Tuesday night. And we're going to have different guests. And you're going to be one of the guests every week unless something comes up where you can't. And I was like, fair enough, great. Well, there's such great players. They also asked some more great players to come in. Like the first lineup included Chuck Garrick from Alice Cooper's band.
Oh my God. Wow.
Bass player, because Chuck lives here.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was in a really small place. And that is it. We had it in a real small place in the middle of a huge music community. If that makes any sense. And I keep saying we, but it's, credits where credit's due. Philip and Jeremy, that was their gig and their show. And like I said, I was just lucky enough because we were friends and our friends. They said, look, you're going to be one of the guests that we have every week unless there's some reason that you can't. So if I was around, I was part of that show every week. And then during that was when the Gene thing happened. And then everybody just kind of started associating us together with that whole thing. But I'm going to tell you guys, that thing did so well. We had every guest, including Gene, Alice Cooper. Now that I say that, I'm forgetting all the names of people, but you guys, Deep Purple.
Really?
Robin
you play with Roger Glover, right? So he played with you guys.
Robin Zander from Cheap Trick would come sing with the band. And it just became this thing to where if bands were in town and it happened to be on a Tuesday night, they would come visit. And if they didn't play with us, they would at least come watch the show and hang out. Okay. And it became a really cool weekly thing. And we're doing one show this month, the first one in a couple of years, probably first and last one, or at the end of February. I'm sorry, next month.
Okay. And what did you guys play? You played covers like what you used to
all
do
covers.
With the big
we would do Sammy. We would do Montrose, Deep Purple, Rainbow, Kiss, Pat Benatar. The Who, Three Dog Night. I mean, you name it. There was nothing that the only thing that we didn't play was 80s metal. It was basically rooted in 60s and 70s hard rock.
Okay, classic rock. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It was fun.
And Ryan, what about the now we're becoming a little bit more recent, but what about the Talisman? So how did that happen?
Happened by accident.
Okay.
It happened by accident. Yeah. Phil and Jeremy and I are together all the time. Mm-hmm. Right? We live here. We all live here in Nashville. If we're not on tour together, we're hanging out together. And during COVID, everybody was looking for something new to do.
That's right.
You know, and there was a private event here, right? Actually, before COVID started, and we got asked to come play a private event acoustically, the three of us.
Okay.
And it was actually from someone that we met at backstage at a Gene Simmons show. Turns out he lives in the same neighborhood as Doc. Okay. So we go do a private event at this guy's house. It went really well. And we were like, this is pretty fun. So word just kind of got out and people started hiring us to come do this acoustic thing, the three of us, everywhere. And again, it was like the Big Rock Show. We never planned it. It just happened. And, you know, I think it just kind of goes to show you that sometimes when you don't, because like if you start out and you're like, okay, this is going to be a business, we're going to make money and it's going to be this whole thing, that's great. And hopefully that works. But when you do something from a place of fun and love and all you're just solely doing it for the joy of it, and then it turns into a business,
Much better.
it's because it's something that you're not faking it. It's
right.
real.
Exactly. It's real. It's legit. Absolutely.
And that's what happened with the Talismen. And all of a sudden we just start playing everywhere. And it turned into this thing to where it's just another outlet for us to go play music now. So we love it.
Were you guys playing acoustic, you know, only Kiss or anything?
We do everything. We'll do the Doobie Brothers. We'll do Van Halen. Wait, see, it's so bad because once I start talking about something like I forget everything. But no, it's not just
you can
Kiss.
Play anything, man. You can play anything.
Yeah,
It's
but I will
unbelievable.
tell you on the last cruise,
Yes.
because it was Kiss, 90% of our shows were Kiss because they should be on a Kiss cruise. You know, that's what.
Right.
So we tried to do stuff that Kiss didn't do. We did Great Expectations. We did like Don't You Let Me Down off of Peter's solo record.
Nice.
We did Mr. Make Believe.
Yeah, that was great.
Thank you.
Great.
So we tried to do stuff for Kiss fans that you're never going to see Kiss play.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah.
And it was so funny because when I was talking to Gene on the ship one of the days, because we would do Beatles stuff and everything, and he came up to me and he goes, I heard you did Mr. Make Believe. Why?
Really?
Yeah.
You should have said, why don't you do it?
Yeah, why don't you do it?
The fans will go nuts.
But you know what? I don't know if you guys remember, he is a really good sport. When we played Gene's solo tour, we did stuff. He would do stuff that Kiss never did. We did Charisma.
Yeah.
We
I
did Got
remember.
Love for Sale.
Oh yeah, that was
See You Tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
Sweet
set list
Pain.
was fantastic, man.
Sweet Pain.
Pain. Yeah.
Yeah,
You play Sweet
yeah.
Pain.
And then some of the stuff that Kiss didn't release, like Are You Ready?
Yeah.
You played that in
That's
Quebec.
My Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's
awesome,
My
man.
Life we did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Then you
So,
kind of I
it was-
remember. Yeah, I remember in the Quebec show. I don't know if you did it in the others, but you played some kind of a medley of Beatles stuff and all kinds of.
Did we?
Even even Accept. It's fantastic, man. Yeah,
That's right. You know what I remember that we did play there? Because we were in Canada. I remember we did Taking Care of Business by BTO just because Randy Bachman played the
Right.
Right.
the event. And that was the fun thing with Gene, we never played the same set twice.
Mhm.
We changed our show every night. And there were things that were unrehearsed, like Taking Care of Business or Working Man by Rush. Remember we did that?
Mhm.
Yeah, it just
This
flows.
was
Huh?
stuff that was just us like looking at each other, not even knowing that was going to come up with the set and going, well, let's do it for a minute. And that was part of the fun again that made it so fun with Gene is very self-deprecating and believe it or not, he doesn't take himself so serious that he won't have a good time,
Okay.
and that's what made playing with him so much fun. He's
What
just awesome.
was it fun to play with Ace also because they're
Oh.
so different? Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing. It was totally fun to play with both of them, and I can't stress enough how great they both treat us.
Okay.
Gene treated us like we were in Kiss. I'm not kidding. It was just, and we were with him all the time. Like, we traveled together, we had meals together, we were on the same floor we stayed in hotels together, we had breakfast together. I mean, we were always together. As to where it's fun with Ace, but it's a whole different thing. We don't change the set every night. Ace gets in a place, and does it, and this is what we're doing, and we know that. We're like, okay. Every once in a while, we'll change something. When we do, he comes to sound check. We'll work on it. We'll do it that night. Ace is a lot more private.
Right.
Like,
okay.
we don't travel with Ace. We don't do meals with Ace. We don't. It's always him and the guy he travels with.
Okay.
And we usually don't see him until before the show, but it's fine.
That's just
the way it is.
Exactly.
You can't expect everybody to be alike. Like, I know, like, the three of you guys aren't exactly alike. So it's just, on our part, as far as being professional, we have to sit back and look at the situation and go, okay, this is the way it is with this guy.
Of course.
Or, okay, this is the way it is with this guy.
Yeah, you read the map. That's exactly. Yeah.
You got to, and we have to be respectful of how they want things run. And the main thing is that we're always going to do that, because bottom line is they trust us, and they trust us to know what we're supposed to know and to fall in line with the way they like to work. And I think that's why it's worked out so well, because we definitely pay attention to how each of those guys want things run, and we abide by that. Yeah. So it's been good for us.
And you know what the Kiss fans want, so you deliver. So you know what it is.
Yeah. And and just so you know, and I've been on record saying it several times, as far as Kiss fans, since we're talking to each other as Kiss fans, is you can't go deep enough for me. It's like remember when we did Almost Human with Gene?
Yeah.
Just stuff like that you don't hear every night. I love doing that. We doing stuff like Rocket Ride is a lot of fun. Like, we tried so hard to get Gene to do Rocket in the USA. And he never went for it. But I can remember doing Ladies Room with him, which you haven't heard them do since '77.
Wow, man.
Just stuff like that. So if it was up to me, which it's not,
you can play anything, man.
We would do all the stuff that Kiss doesn't do, like Flaming Youth, and all that stuff. I just love it.
But Gene's pretty receptive to song ideas from you guys, I've heard.
Absolutely. You know what? He never told us no. Now, that doesn't mean that he would always at least try something. And then he would go, maybe not.
Right.
I'm not feeling that one. Fair enough. Yeah. At least he tried it. He was always a real good sport. He was also the one that would pull stuff out at last minute. Like, man, when we did Love Theme from Kiss, we loved it. We had such a great time playing stuff like that, and he would, and like I said, we were together all the time. So he would always show up to sound check. And he always wanted to play everything but Kiss songs. We'd be playing Mountain, or we'd be playing the Beatles, or we'd be playing something like that, because his mindset was like, I play Kiss songs all the time. But he does understand that if people come see him, they're going to want to hear Kiss songs. And
of course, yeah.
So it's cool.
So Ryan, apart from all these accomplishments that you've been talking about, that we've been talking about, you've also debuted the Ryan Cook custom guitar by Vintage Guitar in NAMM in 2001.
Yeah, looky.
Oh, there she is.
There it is. So
Beautiful.
This is the original one, okay?
Wow.
And funny story about this, I don't have it down here, but there's a lot of pictures of, trying to see if there's one down here, of Gene and of us on tour with Gene. I don't know if you guys remember, Gene has a bass exactly like this.
Yeah.
A Punisher. with these studs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Same paint finish, same hardware, everything. Except it doesn't say RC on the pickup. But anyway. So I always loved that bass. I loved it. And I thought to myself, man, I would love to have a guitar like that someday. Now, when I was working with Gene, I would have never walked on stage with this guitar when he had the same bass. That's like that's like two girls wearing the same dress to the prom.
Right, exactly. Right on.
Yeah.
You don't do it. So respectfully, I never did it. But I always thought I would love a guitar like that one day. Well, we got together with that company Vintage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, they've been really good to us. And they told me they wanted to release a signature model, which I was flattered. And I thought, boy, I'd love to do this. So I asked Gene's permission.
Oh, you did? Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I didn't. So with his blessing, I went to his guy, Jim Cara.
Yeah.
See, this is Cara?
Yeah.
Who does all Gene's guitars. Made sure that he and Gene talked so everybody knew it was okay. And Vintage makes the guitar. They send it to Jim. Jim strips it, redoes the paint, redoes the electronics, puts the studs in. So it's kind of a hybrid between Cara guitars and Vintage guitars.
Okay.
And you're right. They debuted it at NAMM last year. It's Summer NAMM in Nashville. And it's been doing great. People are buying them everywhere.
It's a great guitar. It's
Beautiful
lovely,
guitar.
man.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Who'd have thought?
Nice.
But this is the original one. This is number 001. This was the first one made for me. So obviously this one isn't for sale. I'm going to keep this one forever. But they're doing them by order. So as people purchase them, they make them that way. It's not like there's a warehouse full of them.
Right.
They're making those here. So no, that was a real thrill for me because it's another one of those things. I never imagined that someone was gonna make a guitar for me.
You know what? You deserve this and more, man.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
You really come. You really come from the heart. You really do.
Thanks.
Yes,
Thanks.
it does.
Thanks. Well, thank you. Do you guys want to see what's down here real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Let's go.
So I'll just show you real quick. I won't take up your time. So I can't turn the camera here. Let's see. Actually, I can't. How's that?
There you go.
Nice,
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay, so I'm gonna go like this for. Well, wait. Hold on. Okay.
That's
so
it.
You come
That's
down
it.
here. It's kind of dark, but I like it like that. So you come down the stairs here, and that's from 1978. The life-size Love Gun stand-up that was in the record stores.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's about 6 feet tall. There's an outtake from Hotter Than Hell. There's Ace. Here's some stuff from Ace. Some of
That's
my
from
guitars.
Linda Lesio. Yeah.
And then as you come around, of course, there's Gene's vault that he gave me.
Lovely.
And some more guitars. And then this is just my wall of all my friends and me and everything. More guitars. Here's where I sit and work and play music all day, every day. And then you can just kind of see this is my kind of like my own little world down here.
Your cave.
And then there's
Beautiful.
me and Ace.
Wow, look at that. Man. Wow.
Me and Ace,
Right.
Zeppelin. There's me and Skid Row when I toured with them. There's from 75.
Oh, the jumbo poster. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have to get
Jimmy.
mine framed.
Jimmy.
Yeah. And then here's some more Stones and Blondie. And then there's Peter.
Cool.
I love it.
And there's one of the kick drums. And then here's where I sleep.
Love it.
And then here's more.
Superheroes. That's
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh,
And
so
then-
cool.
There's just stuff like there's me with the guys in Cheap Trick. There's me and Gino. That's from the last Alice Ace tour.
Yeah.
This is from the Australian tour with Ace and Gene.
All right.
This was from when we were played in Japan with Ace for 8 shows. I picked up this copy of in Tokyo,
Dynasty, right?
and had Ace sign up for me. And then there's the flyers from the show. There's us playing with Ace. This is me and Gino. This is me with both guys. There's Bert and Ernie. You have Van Halen, and just full circle. That's where I live.
Love it,
Nice.
man.
No, so people who are listening to this show need to watch the video to watch this tour. It was something else. Thank you, Ryan.
Oh, sure. Thanks for indulging me. It's okay.
Fantastic.
And Ryan, as our listeners know, so this podcast is about the fan experience, okay? And
Sure.
So as you just shown, you're obviously big in the Kiss world, but in the end, you're a fan like the rest of us. So two quick questions that we didn't cover before.
Sure.
How did you become a Kiss fan?
You know what? I was in first grade, little kid. And I'd been hearing Beth a lot on the radio, right? And, I liked the song. That was it. I mean, I was really young. I was in first grade. I liked the song, but I just knew I liked the song. And then we were watching TV one night, and the night that they won the People's Choice Awards.
Oh, okay.
They showed a clip, and I saw Kiss for the first time, and it was over. It was over.
That's it.
Wow.
And then not too long around that, I saw the Paul Lynde Halloween special.
Yeah.
There you go.
And those two events happened really close together, if my memory serves me right. But once I laid eyes on them, it was over. And then I went and now my first Kiss record that I owned was Destroyer. So I had to go backwards and get the first three records. Because the order I bought them in was I got Destroyer, then I bought Alive, and then I got the originals.
Oh, okay. Okay. The package.
Which had the first three records in it.
Right.
And being a Kiss fan in the 70s was, I feel sorry for anybody who missed that if you're a Kiss fan, because just the overload of merchandise in addition to the music was nobody even came close to those guys.
In those times, yeah.
And what I just showed you as an adult, I have a 3-story house, right? This is the basement. This is my area. You can tell. I mean, there's a whole nother, this whole floor alone could be a house. There's a bathroom and a bedroom and a living room. But this was like a big, huge version of my bedroom when I was a little kid. The rest of the house isn't like this. It's a normal home, the other two floors. But, my point being, if you were a Kiss fan in the 70s, 75 to 79, there was so much stuff.
Anything, right?
Yeah. So that's how I became a fan, was just seeing them for the first time on TV, because there was no internet.
Right.
The only window into Kiss back then was magazines, or if they happened to show up on TV, if you were lucky. That was it.
Yeah.
It was like seeing a unicorn or Bigfoot. You never saw it. It just popped. You were just like, oh, there's Kiss.
Yeah.
So, but as time went on, like I said, they were so appealing visually. All I did was sit in my room and listen to Kiss records and look at the walls. That was it.
Exactly. And you were flying. Exactly. That's it. You don't need anything else.
Nope. That was it.
So Ryan, so being such a huge Kiss fan, what kind of message would you like to give the Kiss fans out there? So if you had to say something to, let's say, us or them, what would you say?
Well, a couple different things. First of all, just this doesn't sound selfish. I don't want it to sound selfish. I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. I would want everybody first and foremost to know, as a Kiss fan, how grateful I am for all the ones that accepted me as playing with the guys in Kiss. I'm super grateful. And and if there's someone that doesn't enjoy what we're doing with Gene and Ace, I'm still grateful for them even giving us a chance. And I love that. And to be a part of the world of something that I just still idolize and worship for my whole life. To be able to be a part of it, I realize the gravity of it, and I'm grateful for it. And I just want to thank everybody for that. But another message that I would give is just, you know, I do see a lot of times that Kiss fans tend to find things to argue about.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, just remember, we all became to know one another because of Kiss.
Right.
And, you know, there's different versions of Kiss out there. Everybody has their favorite version. It doesn't mean that my version's is better than the version that someone else is different likes. It's like, just remember, we all love the same band and the same idea. And their thing was always like a we are one thing. I know that's corny.
Yeah.
But it's really true. So, you know, before you give somebody a hard time about not agreeing with what you think Kiss should be, just remember that we all like Kiss anyway, and just try to be nice. You know?
Very well said.
Be nice to each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So true. So on those words, before we wrap up, want to leave one final question for Raula.
Sure.
Now, I don't know if our listeners know, but we prepare a lot of the questions in advance. But
Sure.
this one, no clue. I have no idea what Raula's going to throw at you. You know, it's completely on her. So Raula,
Okay, I'm ready.
The floor is yours.
Yeah, they usually get me every discussion panel or every interview. They get me with a question or some kind of game that they want to play.
The eye roll question.
So I've thought about this and I've thought about this and I've came up with a question. I was originally going to ask you about your darn cats, but I decided against that. They are quite the characters.
They are.
But anyway, if you had a chance to play musically with any musician, living or dead,
Nice question.
who would that be and why?
Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay, that's hard.
That's a good one. Eh? I'm telling you, man. That's a really
good one, and it's really difficult. I just want to let you know that I have so many musical heroes. Okay,
Right.
a lot, and picking who I'm going to tell you is like this answer could change on a daily basis.
You could actually make your own band if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, no,
But
the one person I would love to stand next to on stage and play with is David Lee Roth.
Oh, okay.
I'm such a huge Van Halen fan. It's right up there with Kiss.
Wow.
And there was a period on those first 6 Van Halen records. I was fortunate enough to see the original Van Halen lineup 3 times. Okay. To me personally, in my opinion, I think he was the best frontman in the world. And I can say that because I saw it live and I just saw the way he handled the crowd. And he could literally stand on stage and not move and say nothing and do nothing except smile and get 18,000 people in such a fury by doing nothing. And I've never seen anybody else be able to do that. And I would love to just be able to stand next to him with the guitar and feel what that felt like.
Yeah.
You know, he had the gift of gab. He was so charismatic, and you know, those guys, he and Ed were always smiling.
Oh yeah.
They always looked like they had the best time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, to have a band that could have songs like Running with the Devil and then play Dance the Night Away right after that.
Yeah.
They got it. And I would love to stand next to Dave once on stage in front of 20,000 people and just see what that felt like, because man, it looked like it felt good.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's funny you mentioned that, because every time I listen to Van Halen or just watch a show, it makes me smile, you know, and I remember
absolutely
having the same, the same feeling when I saw you guys with the Big Rock show, because you guys are, you, Jeremy, and at that time it wasn't Phil, but now with Phil, you guys, look at each other, even when you play with Ace or Gene, you're smiling all the time, man. You're having such a great time.
Yeah, we love it. I'm going to tell you, those smiles are for real. I promise.
I know.
It's for real. Yeah.
Awesome.
We love it. We love it.
That was a good question, man. So I love it. I love
Fantastic.
I love the answer. Beautiful.
That's a good one. That's
Beautiful.
a good one. Yeah.
So, before we say our goodbyes, we would like to send out a few shout outs, Pask.
Yeah, it's always shocking to listen to other podcasts and hearing those podcasts mention ours.
Yeah.
That's
awesome.
We have to thank you a lot. Shout outs from Matt Porter of the Kiss Room, Sandra and Jeff. Yeah, there you go. Sandra and Jeb of Kiss Army Things, Cameron Duty of Alive Unplugged, and the music of Kiss, and Julian Gill of the Kiss FAQ podcast.
Julian.
There you go.
Awesome.
Julian,
Awesome people.
Big Julian.
So we're going to put you on the spot once again, Raula. Closing remarks.
I would just like to thank you guys for having me here tonight. It's always a pleasure and an honor to be here, especially on this special episode. And Ryan, I would like to say it was awesome to talk with you, and I look forward to everything you have coming towards us in the future. You always play with such passion and heart, and you just bring a lot of charisma and a lot of energy to the stage, and I just enjoy you immensely every time I see you play.
Thank you. Likewise.
Very welcome. You're very welcome.
I always enjoy seeing you guys as well, and thank you so much. And this is really fun because, like I said, man, I know that I'm lucky I'm going to play with those guys, but you guys have no idea how similar the four of us are.
Mm-hmm.
We really are the same person. I kind of feel like that.
Yes, it is. It is. We feel the same way. So again, Ryan, thank you so much, man. We love you. Don't change a thing, man. Keep being the awesome guy, rock star that you are, Kiss fan, and hope to see you soon, man. So hopefully in the new, if we're gonna go to the cruise or somewhere else, I really hope to see you soon.
Well, great. And you know what? And thank you guys so much for this opportunity. I mean, I really enjoyed speaking to you guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in person. And I mean this. I'm telling you, you guys have my contact info, obviously, because we set this up. So you please stay in touch with me, and you let me know when I'm going to be in your area, because
awesome.
I'm bad with keeping track of things, but I'm definitely good at responding to people and that kind of stuff. And if I have the opportunity to see you guys in person, you know that I will.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
So, all right, Ryan, one more little thing. You mentioned in the podcast oftentimes that things that happen to you happened by accident. I have to respectfully disagree. Things don't happen by accident. You put out such positive and passionate energy, and you get all that back.
Yes,
thank you.
Absolutely.
The success that you've been having is because of the person that you are. And like Claudio said earlier, you deserve it all, my friend. You really do.
You. Oh, thank you, guys. I'm never going to say I deserve it, but I'm really grateful that you said that. It makes me feel good. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely true. And again, thank you so much on behalf of Claudio and Raula and myself for coming on to our little podcast. We really appreciate you being here. It was a lot of fun. Fantastic talking to you.
I love it. Likewise. Thank you, guys, and Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you millions.
So to the Kiss Army, thank you very much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode. And remember, never stop rocking. Take care.
Never stop rocking.
Woo!
There you go.
The Kiss Army Nation podcast has partnered up with Click T-Shop to offer our listeners a high-quality T-shirt with graphic design by Xander Graphics. Check out Click T-Shop at clickteeshop.com.